recognize the chairman of the full committee, Chairman Walberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to the panel for being here. And I'm delighted in my conversations with the Secretary of Education that some of this is actually going to be happening, including in FAFSA, which will be rolling out on time. So thank you for being here. Mr. Wishing, your school, like Hillsdale College in my district, has made a concerted effort and a decision to underwrite its own college costs and not take federal funding. And so it's interesting to have you here speaking about this issue and talking about the transparency that you show to your incoming students. In your testimony, you mentioned that, and I quote, and it's a shocking quote, "The very first transaction a student has with most Christian colleges is based on deception," end quote. Could you elaborate on this point, including whether this deception is exclusive to private faith-based institutions or applicable more broadly to public and other types of institutions?
Thank you for the question, sir. In some ways, I feel like apologizing for using the word deception because it is a very strong word. But
we like transparency.
Yeah, I can't think of a better word. It is deceptive. Students, it's deceptive in that, like, so Grove City, Hillsdale, we compete for pretty high achieving students, and these students are the big winners in this game at the expense of maybe the lower achieving students. The high achieving students think that they're getting a huge, wonderful scholarship. What I've seen, a $30,000 scholarship, an institution will have maybe 10% money in that. So it's greatly the actual value is greatly overstated. So it's creating this perception, grandiose perception that the student is greatly desired. The students that score lower or achieve at a lower rate, they too get a scholarship. It's like everybody gets a trophy. Some students get a big trophy, and the students that get a smaller trophy, they end up paying for the bigger trophies. It's staggering. Everybody does it. I shouldn't say everybody does it, not everybody, but it's widely practiced.
But it is across the board.
Excuse me?
It is across the board.
I see it every day of my working life.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Dr. Gillen, an eye-opening expose by the Wall Street Journal in 2023 found that the public flagship universities have, and I quote, been on an unfettered spending spree and have passed the bill along to students, unquote. Oftentimes, public institutions are one of the loudest voices against post-secondary education reform, arguing that state funding fluctuations make transparency with students impossible while ignoring their institutional spending habits. Do you agree with the premise that state funding has declined, and does the fact that an institution receives state funding mean that it can't be honest with students and families?
So I do disagree with the premise that state funding has been on a long downward trajectory. This is often called state disinvestment. A couple months ago, we actually put out a report that documented the last 4.5 decades of state funding for higher education. And when you look at the trend line, it's actually up. So states have been increasing funding over time by about $56 per student per year. Now, during recessions, that there is a downward trend, but then it quickly increases later. So I actually counted it up last night. We've now had 12 years of higher state funding than the year before in a row for 12 years now. And that kind of realization has not soaked through to the conventional wisdom yet.
Thank you. Quickly, my final seconds here. Mr. Drager, you indicate the schools set high sticker price to signal high quality and prestige. In Strata's research, how do students and families react when they learn these scholarships are nothing more than a marketing ploy?
Initially, they react with delight that they're receiving a scholarship. Ultimately, down the line, it works against the school's interest. I might just frame this slightly differently. I don't think schools are engaging in deceptive practices. I think they're engaging in practices that ultimately students and families come to see as deceptive. And I think there is an important distinction. Ultimately, I think there are many schools that would like off-ramps to these practices. Collectively, I think we can get there.
Thank you. I yield my time.